Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the life and legacy of one of history's most remarkable figures, Alexander the Great. His journey from a young prince to a world-conquering king is not only fascinating but also filled with lessons on leadership, ambition, and the impact of culture. Sit back and enjoy this detailed exploration of Alexander's life, which will take us through his early years, conquests, challenges, and enduring legacy. Alexander was born in 356 BCE in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, to King Philip II and Queen Olympias. His early life was marked by privilege and education. His mother, Olympias, was a strong influence, nurturing his ambition and instilling a belief in his divine heritage. From the age of 13, Alexander was tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle. This education shaped his worldview, instilling a love for philosophy, science, and the arts. He learned about the great heroes of Greek mythology, which fueled his desire for glory. A famous story from his childhood is the taming of Bucephalus, a wild horse that no one else could ride. At just 12 years old, Alexander managed to tame the beast, showcasing not only his exceptional skills but also his courage and determination. This moment symbolized his potential and foreshadowed his future as a leader. In 336 BCE, tragedy struck when King Philip II was assassinated. At only 20 years old, Alexander ascended to the throne amid a turbulent political climate. His first challenge was to secure his position against rival factions and rebellious states in Greece. Using both diplomacy and military might, Alexander quickly subdued dissent. He famously dealt with the city of Thebes, which revolted against his rule. After a swift siege, he destroyed the city and sold its inhabitants into slavery, sending a clear message about the consequences of defiance. This brutal act solidified his power and deterred other city-states from rebellion. With Greece under his control, Alexander sought to fulfill his father's dream of invading Persia. This ambition would not only expand his territory but also establish his legacy. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor, embarking on his campaign against the Persian Empire. His first major battle was at the Granicus River, where he faced a Persian army led by local satraps. Utilizing brilliant tactics, including a surprise cavalry charge, Alexander secured a decisive victory. This battle marked the beginning of his legendary conquests. Following Granicus, Alexander continued his campaign, winning significant battles at Issus and Gaugamela. At Issus, he encountered the Persian king Darius III. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Alexander's tactical genius and the loyalty of his troops led to a stunning victory. The sight of Darius fleeing the battlefield was a turning point, boosting Alexander's reputation and morale. The Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE was perhaps his most famous encounter. Darius assembled a massive force, but Alexander's strategic brilliance shone through once again. He used the terrain to his advantage, executing flanking maneuvers and leading his cavalry to target Darius directly. The Persian forces were routed, and this victory opened the gates to Babylon and the rest of Persia. As Alexander conquered new territories, he didn't just seek military dominance. He also aimed to integrate cultures. He established several cities, many named Alexandria, which became centers of Greek culture and learning. The most notable, Alexandria in Egypt, would later house the famous Library of Alexandria, symbolizing the fusion of knowledge and culture. In Egypt, Alexander was hailed as a liberator and was even declared a god. He visited the Oracle of Siwa, where he was proclaimed the son of Zeus, reinforcing his divine right to rule. This recognition endeared him to the local population and helped to solidify his control over Egypt. Alexander's approach to governance was often pragmatic. He respected local customs and traditions, integrating local leaders into his administration. This strategy not only helped maintain order but also fostered loyalty among newly conquered peoples. After securing Persia, Alexander turned his focus eastward to India. In 326 BCE, he faced King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. This battle was significant not only for its scale but also for the fierce resistance offered by Porus and his war elephants. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical ingenuity once again prevailed. He executed a night attack, catching Porus off guard. After winning the battle, Alexander was impressed by Porus's bravery and reinstated him as the ruler of his territory, showcasing his willingness to collaborate with local leaders. However, the campaign in India took a toll on Alexander's troops. Exhausted and longing for home, they refused to march further east. Faced with the prospect of continuing into unknown territories and risking his men's loyalty, Alexander reluctantly turned back. As Alexander returned to Babylon, he began to contemplate even greater ambitions for his empire, including plans for further conquests and the fusion of cultures. However, his health began to decline. In 323 BCE, he fell gravely ill, and his condition quickly worsened. The exact cause of his death remains a mystery, fueling various theories ranging from poisoning to malaria. On June 10, 323 BCE, at the age of 32, Alexander died, leaving behind a vast empire that stretched from Greece to India. His death created a power vacuum, leading to chaos among his generals, known as the Diadochi. They fought for control over different parts of the empire, ultimately leading to its fragmentation. Alexander the Great's legacy is profound. He is remembered not just for his military conquests but also for spreading Greek culture and ideas throughout his empire, a phenomenon known as Hellenization. This cultural diffusion significantly influenced the regions he conquered, shaping their societies for centuries to come. The cities he founded became centers of learning, trade, and culture, blending Greek and Eastern influences. His vision of a cosmopolitan world laid the groundwork for the Hellenistic period, which lasted for several centuries after his death. Alexander's life and achievements have inspired countless leaders throughout history. His ambition, tactical genius, and commitment to cultural integration are studied in military academies and leadership courses worldwide. He remains a symbol of courage, vision, and the pursuit of greatness. In summary, Alexander the Great's life was a remarkable journey filled with triumphs and challenges. From his early years as a young prince to his untimely death, his story is one of ambition, leadership, and cultural exchange. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the incredible story of Alexander the Great. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical tales.